Hey Magic the Gathering lovers, Matt here from Total MTG and welcome to today's video. Today is another MTG top list, but not top 10 today, I'm doing top 20 because today, as with the new set that is soon to be coming out, which is the new core set M20, I thought it'd be great to do a top 20 core set rares list. Now, my list is basically going from 8th edition onwards because sets before 8th edition were referred to as base sets and they were a little bit different before that. They used to have any expansions added in and stuff like that. So I'm going from 8th edition up to the current M19, not including M20 obviously, because we don't know what the full spoiler is just yet. But have no fear, I will be doing some more MTG lists when M20 does come out and is released. So these are my choices. They're my top 20. They're not going to be in any particular order because it is very hard to put these in an actual order. There's over 600 rare Mythic cards from 8th edition to M19, which is a hell of a lot of cards. And there will be some cards that you may think could, honestly deserve to be in this list. So what I want you to do is maybe from my list and any others you think would make a list as well, put in the comments your top 3 core set rares from the 8th edition up to M19. Now, obviously, you can take them from my list as well because I've sourced these cards and I do think they're pretty great. But if you've got any others you want to add in there, I would really like to see what you think. Now, don't be biased towards cards that you just really liked playing. You've got to be objective and know that a card is a good card. So, without further ado, let's get on to my top 20 core set rares. So my first core set rare that I think is a bit of a superstar is a Thragtusk. Thragtusk 4 and a green 5/3 creature beast that was first printed in M13. When this enters the battlefield, you gain 5 life. When it leaves the battlefield, you get a 3/3 green beast creature token. At its highest price ever since it's been out has been $24, and at its lowest has been just over $1.50, and it's currently residing at $3 in paper. This card is just absolutely value. The decks you'll see it currently in today's decks is in Modern. You'll see it in Tron and Titan Shift, and in a lot of sideboard cards that do carry green because of just the all-round value that you get with Thragtusk. Gaining life is great, getting a 5/3 creature is great as well. All this for 5 mana, and even when it dies you get a 3/3 beast token as well. Thragtusk is an epic card, and in M13 standard it was really strong as well. Thragtusk comes in as the first in the top 20 core set rares. Number 19 on my list is Thundermaw Hellkite. This is an absolutely amazing mythic dragon. The 5/5 flyer with haste for 5 mana is great. When it enters a battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent's control, and you get to tap those creatures as well, so there'd be no blocking when this creature entered the battlefield. At its highest price, it was as big as $33.50 and now resides a few years down the line at $3.74, which is still a fair price. You got to think how many years on we are from this. 2013, this card came out. Now, if you're looking if there's any decks recently that have been playing Thundermaw Hellkite, possibly Ponza in the sideboard for Modern, but it is really an EDH card now. So when you look at Thundermaw Hellkite, it was a really good mythic from M13. Dragons are a great theme as well. Like I said, you'd be building around this, putting it in your EDH decks. Really sweet card. A big 5/5 haste, and it can definitely get the job done and finish a game off by tapping down your opponent's flyers. The next card on my list is Garruk Apex Predator. This was a mythic planeswalker from M15 that came in with Father Loyalty. Now, even though it cost 7, it had 4 abilities, this planeswalker. Super strong. Interesting about this planeswalker as well, its highest price was around $20 and is still trading at around $17 all these years on. It is absolutely brilliant. You can put it in a black-green Tron deck. I've seen it in that in Modern, and of course EDH play. But when you look at how strong this Planeswalker was, it reminds me of when it was in Standard of Vivien. Vivien was a very, is a very good Planeswalker at the moment in Standard. And Garruk, even though, is a little bit more expensive, it's a bit warping like it was then as well. +1, destroy another target Planeswalker. It can protect itself, can this Garruk. Another +1, put a 3/3 black creature token with Death Touch onto the battlefield. So that's going to trade off with everything. The -3 was destroy target creature. You gain life equal to its toughness, so it can save you in against when you're going down a life, and you can, sack a big creature and gain lots of life. And the -8, target opponent gets an emblem. Whenever a creature attacks them, it gets +5/5 and trample to end of turn. That is going to be no player, especially in EDH, that's going to want that on them. They do not want that emblem for sure. Garruk Apex Predator was an absolutely amazing Planeswalker, and still is, and holding its price, which is why it gets in there in the top 20 core set rares. We now head over to M10, with target player takes an extra turn after this one in the card that is Time Warp. This Mythic is an absolutely epic 5 mana to take an extra turn. Now we all know how good Nexus's Fate was. It's even been banned in Standard recently. That costs 1 more as an instant speed, but Time Warp, very, very, very strong card. It's actually taking a spike at the moment. Previously it was highest at around $10. This now is up to $14. This is a really, really sweet card. If you want to see this played, it's roughly played a little bit in Modern. Narset, As for Turns, is a deck, the new sort of deck that's out at the moment with the new Narset. This is, Time Warp is a very good card. Taking extra turns is a good card, and doing it for 5 mana makes this Mythic from M10 gets in there in the top 20 core set rares. So next up on my top 20 core set rares is a group collection of Titans. Now I don't want to put these all individual because they're all absolutely brilliant. As a collective, the Titans were epic cards for core set rares. Every single one of them was a 6/6 and they all did amazing things. Primeval Titan is a Titan in Modern. Amazing card. Infernal Titan played in Modern as well. Inferno in the Ponza decks. Sun Titan, brilliant in EDH, and it is played in occasionally because you want to get those weenies back. Grave Titan is absolutely epic. And unfortunately, the Frost Titan being blue, I'm a blue mage, is probably the weaker one out the lot, but it's still a great card. These Titans are what core sets are about. I would love to have something as strong as these. I don't think we'll ever get Titans back. We've had variants of them, but they're not the actual Titans like these. These would definitely be probably in my top 5 of the rares. If I had to then, like I said, pick down to whittle them down a little bit, the Titans for me are just epic cards, and certainly as a collective make the top 20 core set rares. We're now going to a card that used to haunt me in Standard in M15, which is Goblin Rabblemaster. Goblins were everywhere in this. Aggro card was in all sorts of decks. It is a 2/2 for 2 and a red. Other goblin creatures you control attack each turn if able. At the beginning of your combat turn, you put a goblin token into play with haste, and the Rabblemaster attacks and gets +1/+0 for each other attacking goblin. This went as high as $20. It was such a prominent card in Standard. Now trading at around $3.75. You can still see it in some decks. Mono Red Prison might play it in Modern. I've seen it in Mono Red Prison in Legacy as well. Red Green Eldrazi tipples with it as well. And of course, all the Goblin decks absolutely love the Rabblemaster. This was a very good card in M15 and is still being played. Goblin Rabblemaster makes it in the top 20 core set rares. Now the list wouldn't be a list if it didn't contain Nicol Bolas. So we're going for the M13 Nicol Bolas Planeswalker. 4 blue, double black and red. It's always hard to cast Nicol Bolas, but just look what you get for that mythic rare. Comes in with 5 loyalty, and it isn't a +1, it isn't a +2, it's a +3 as the first tick up on Nicol Bolas. Destroy target non-creature permanent, so you can get rid of so many great things there, and that of course includes lands. The -2 gain control of target creature, and with the +3 going straight up to 8, you can gain control of a lot of creatures with the -2 effect. The -9, Bolas deals 7 damage to target player. That player discards 7 cards and sacrifices 7 permanents. That is one hell of a -9, and it is very easily repeatable as you +3 in and destroy non-creature permanents. As for decks, it's in Esper Rector in Legacy. That's not really played anywhere else other than EDH really. At its highest price it was around $13 and is now down to a very nice and sweet $5.50, which I think is a very fair price for such a strong Planeswalker. Put it in your Grixis EDH decks. This was certainly a top 20 card for me in Core Set Rares. So the next card we're going at is, of course, the best 4-mana destruction card there is, known as Wrath of God. The art on this card was absolutely amazing. I prefer not obviously the white border of the 8th edition, but this is still an amazing looking card. Destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated. This card is played in Modern. This card is playing all manner of white EDH decks. Azorius Control in Modern plays it, of course, and Red-White Prism will play the card as well. It's a card that just sees play absolutely everywhere in EDH, of course, because it's just a 4-mana Wrath. Now, if you've seen just in Standard, we've only just got a 4-mana Wrath back in Chaos Wrath. I mean, we've only just got one. That tells you how strong this was. And it's been reprinted quite a few times as Wrath of God, but still holds a fair price. The 8th edition is about $8, and I think the 10th edition, you know, they're all different prices, obviously, because of the art and how old they are. Averaging are probably around $9, $8. You might be able to pick it up for a little bit cheaper. The highest price is probably around that as well. Wrath of God is just a stalwart of Magic cards, and it is in there, in the top 20 Core Set Rares. So the next card on my list is Ensnaring Bridge, printed in 8th edition. Look at that lovely white border there. Ensnaring Bridge costs 3 mana. Creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can't attack. That is so restrictive. This is why it's coming in at such a high price, $63. I mean, that is hideous. It's being played in Vintage, of course, in Karn shops. You Modern, you'll see it in Eldrazi Tron, in normal Tron, prison decks, everywhere. And of course, it's also played, I've recently seen Eldrazi Post in Legacy, Mono Red Prison in Legacy. It's a card that will just see play absolutely everywhere, because how strong is that for 3 mana? This artifact is super strong and is an automatic include in the list for me. The next card on the list has just been recently reprinted in Core Set M19, but was originally in 10th edition. It is none other than Crucible of Worlds. It was one of the biggest movers recently in my standard cards that have jumped up in finance price. This card has jumped up to around $30 again now. And I remember seeing this as high as $50 plus. It was such a strong card back in its day, and is now being revamped and used in lots and lots of decks. It's a 3-mana artifact again, very much like Ensnaring Bridge. It plays around graveyard land decks. You may play land cards from your graveyard. That is very strong if you're killing opponent's lands. You can then get by the lands that were doing it. Crucible of Worlds is a dirty card. Played in Vintage in Karn shops. Modern, you're seeing it in Eldrazi Tron, and obviously Ultimate Tron, Eldrazi in Vintage, Amulet Titan, my favourite deck. Well, one of my pet decks, Mono Blue Tron, plays it as well. It's a prison sort of card. Crucible of Worlds with the amazing art as well. Gets in the top 20. Now for one of my favourite cards in Modern, and it's not even blue, it's Blood Moon. Non-basic lands are mounting for 3 mana. This was in 8th edition, really nice card, coming in around now about $20, and that's even after a reprint in Masters 25. It really is a very restricting card, very much like the previous one in Ensnaring Bridge that I just spoke about as well. The type of decks that are playing this is Izzet Phoenix, which is one of the most strongest decks in Modern. Izzet Delver, Mono Red Phoenix, Grixis Control. You can see it in lots of prison decks, of course, as well. Ponza is the deck that I play Blood Moon in. Really strong card. And it basically, you can just shut down an opponent's deck where they will literally just quit. That is how strong Blood Moon was and still is. It's an epic card and still holding a great price, and it's just one of the best cards. This will probably maybe feature into my top 3. If I had to restrict to 3, Blood Moon, I think for me, would definitely be in the top 3. We're now going 9th edition with Seedborn Muse. 3 double green, 2/4 spirit token. Untap all permanents you control during each other player's untapped step. Super strong. Coming in around $12.50 now. This is another lovely white bordered card from 9th edition. You're going to see this in loads of EDH decks, because untapping permanents you control during each other player's untapped step is absolutely brilliant. It's highly costed, but it's still when you look at how powerful this effect is, for me, it's a great card, and the ability is super strong. You see in Standard at the moment, we've got Wilderness Reclamation, I think is the card that untaps your lands. Well, this untaps all permanents for just 1 extra mana, and you get a body on the field as well. So this tells you how strong this card is. EDH players in green love playing it. You love untapping and just flashing in that creatures or flashing in something else. It's a really, really strong card, and it certainly makes my list. We're now going for Angels, and Baneslayer Angel is the next core set mythic rare that makes my list. It's a 5/5 3 double white angel, flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons and from dragons, which was really good in the M10 era. This is played in Modern at the moment. In Azorius control, can be used as a finisher or potentially just from the sideboard to come in as well. Still going around for $15, but it's probably because it's seeing Modern play. Obviously goes in all Angels EDH decks and probably some other white decks because it is just so good. 5/5 and all the effects you get with it is a cracking mythic rare for me from M10. Flying, first strike, lifelink, protection from demons and dragons. That may not be so effective obviously in some kind of EDH decks, but what you're getting for that 5 mana is still very strong. And this Baneslayer Angel comes in the top 20 rares. Now it's time for one of my favourite cards printed in Magic. It's Archangel of Thune. 3 double white, 3/4. Now when you look at how powerful this card is, imagine this card if you were playing an M14 standard. Oh my god, flying lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on every creature you control. That is absolutely insane. All the life gain you could have on this and just build up the most humongous army, all the while just replenishing your life and making it harder for your opponent to win. 3/4 stats were very nice for this, and of course it's a mythic. Has to be a mythic. An M14, this was this is still covering around $15, which is still good for an M14 mythic rare. Now, you don't really see, occasionally you might see this in some sideboards in Modern. I've not really seen it played anywhere else. Bank creature combos might add this into their decks, but obviously a lot of these cards, because they're older cards, I see him playing Commander now and other formats like that. But Archangel of Thune, your face drops when your opponent drops this because you're like, oh my god, the creatures are going to get out of control, and all you have to do is think, I've got to kill the Thune. This is just an epic card and was an epic core set rare. Back to 8th edition now, and this is one of the cheaper cards that is available on the list at the moment. This is under $1. It's Royal Assassin. I mean, it has had a lot of reprints, but just look at what it is. It's a 1/1 for 3. We think, that's nothing special. But tap, destroy, target, tap creature. You've got a kill card on a creature that just taps and just kills things. It's absolutely amazing. I love the art on it as well. Again, the white borders put me off. But hey, I know a lot of you will like the white borders. I'm not going to go about them too much. But destroy target tap creature. You know what I'm going to say. This is obviously found in loads of EDH decks. Of course, you're playing black. You're going to be playing Royal Assassin because it is killing stuff on a creature that is just absolutely abrasive. If you've got ways to untap it as well, it's absolutely amazing combos. I've played Royal Assassin many times in my decks. And this 8th edition, under $1 rare, is absolute value. Pick it up for your EDH decks, it will do nothing but enhance them. Next up on the list is Scavenging Ooze, around $5 now. Did get a recent reprint of a couple of years ago. This was in M14. Powerful creature card this. Played heavily in Modern. Scavenging Ooze, 1 and a green, 2/2. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a 1/1 counter and you gain a life. This was an absolutely great core set rare. Scavenging Ooze, when you think just for 2 mana and you get those abilities that could just grow this creature over and over, it is super strong. It's still played in Legacy and Bant Leovold. Modern is where you'll see it in Jund, the Rock. Legacy again in Elves. Company decks love this card as well. It's just an absolutely epic rare for a core set. I'd love to see a reprint again. It may be standard for Scavenging Ooze. We're getting into a bit of graveyard hate now with the reprints in M20. Scavenging Ooze would be absolutely brilliant. Would it be too strong? I'm not too sure. It's still a 2/2 that would die to Ashiok. So, end of the day, Scavenging Ooze, reprint it, Wizards. I want to be playing with the Oozes again. The next card in the top 20 is Fauna Shaman. Come out in M11, it's a 2/2. An amazing ability of paying 1 green mana, tapping it, discard a creature card, search your library for a creature card, reveal it and put it into your hand. It's searching through. It's a tutor for green that you get on a creature. Yes, easily to kill, fair enough, but what an ability for a flipping rare. This card comes in around just under $7 now. Obviously played in huge amounts of EDH decks. Vanilla Pod in Modern is playing it, and Sultai Company will put this in occasionally as as well. Fauna Shaman, I think should see a little bit more play. I really like it. I think it's super, super strong. Discarding creature cards and going to get something a lot better just seems like absolute value for me. I wouldn't mind seeing this a little reprint later. We've only seen it a couple of times. Let's get a call out. Let's get the Fauna Shaman back. So we're down to the final 3 cards now. Now, these aren't the final 3 best 3, because I did say that at the start. So don't forget to put your top 3 in the comments, because I really want to see. And then I've got a couple of honourable mentions at the end, so make sure you stay to the end of the video. But next up is Serra Ascendant. 1 mana, 1/1. Doesn't seem much. Lifelink, though. As long as you have 30 or more life, then bear in mind that's pretty easy to do. This gets +5/5 and flying. So you're going to get a 6/6 for 1 mana. Core Set M11, this was a star. I absolutely loved it. Serra Ascendant's obviously played in Modern in Norin's Sisters, and it's still fetching a fairly nice price at around $8. But this is super, super strong. You just want to be gaining life, and then you've got a big 6/6 flyer. And it never took much to win games with this, and still doesn't take much when you're playing with it in Modern. Serra Ascendant, bearing in mind, it's 1 mana. Yes, it's only a 1 mana originally with a 1/1 lifelink, which you think might not be good, but turn 1 play, this is really strong. And then get that 30 or more life, and then it turns into the beater that Serra Ascendant was made to be. Down to the last 2, and Grim Lavamancer makes my list. 1 mana again, 1/1. You see a little thing with that with the Ascendant as well. And it has the tap ability of exile 2 cards from your graveyard. Lavamancer deals 2 damage to target creature or player. This can be a game winner and is played as maybe a 1 or 2 of sometimes in Modern Burn, but if not, it's definitely in the sideboard. You got to think how strong this is, you know, just doing a little shock every time. You're playing instants and sorcery spells, and then you would just chucking them in the graveyard, then the Lavamancer would do some more damage as well. It could seriously win games. The art is absolutely epic on this M12 card. Absolutely love it. Very, very strong. I really hope you Burn players are loving that it made the list, because I like it. It's a super strong card and makes the top 20 core set rares. So we're down to the final cards, and it is certainly a card for me that I would have in my top 3, if not number 1. I know my friend Lee agrees with me this, because we did have a little chat about it the other day, and it's Birds of Paradise. This card, the art is just beautiful for me. Love it. It's a little innocuous 0/1 for 1 with flying, but it taps for any 1 mana of any colour. That is hideously strong. When you think, I know you got Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystic, when you think how popular, and they are obviously common cards, they only tap for the green. Noble Hierarch for me, very expensive card, but only taps for 3, but it does have Exalted. This for me, I'd have a Birds of Paradise over it any day of the week. Shoot me down, but I would. Birds of Paradise, tapping for any colour, can just go in that multiple, any multi-combo deck that you're playing other than green, black, blue, anything combination you want to do. Birds of Paradise is the ramping card that you want in your deck. It's amazing. It's just absolutely an epic card. For me, it would be very close to number 1 core set rare that have been printed from 8th edition onwards. This was in the 10th edition to start off with. I can't say how much. I'm obviously saying how much I love Birds of Paradise. I'm saying it's not just because it's a favourite card. It's because it is powerful, and it was an epic card. We've not had anything close to this. They've always been 2 mana cards, always been drawbacks since in core sets. Birds of Paradise is the final card in my top 20 core set rares. So just before we sign off, I've got a few honourable mentions here. As you can see from the screen here, Worship, Chord of Calling, the massive Darksteel Colossus, Phyrexian Arena, absolutely amazing card draw, really strong, and Vivian Reed is probably the most latest card that I've had from recent sets, just because it is format warping. But Vivian Reed, your face is that the amount of people that moan about Vivian Reed, not quite on the Teferi Time Reveler stage, but Vivian Reed is super strong. It reminds me of Garruk, it reminds me of the old Garruk, the black-green Garruk. I think this is a lovely card. Worship, super strong as well. If you control a creature, damage that will do your life total to 1, reduce it to 1 instead. If you had tokens in there, it was really hard to kill. Call of Calling, searching up for stuff, still played in Modern, of course, and Darksteel Colossus, an 11/11 trample indestructible card that can get shuffled back in. Where are those cards in core sets now? I absolutely love that card. Phyrexian Arena is just an all-star in EDH. Every black deck plays it. Beginning your upkeep, draw a card, lose a life. that is what black does. It gives you a bit of damage, but getting the card draw as well is really what you want when you're playing the black colours. And obviously we're seeing there early on in the early editions of the core sets. These are my honourable mentions, and like I said, that was my top 20. If you want to take just, 3 from my top 20 and say what you think will be the top 3, or if you've got any cards from that mass 600 rare mythic cards, don't ever go at me for ones I've missed, because there were 600 rares or mythics just over. So there will be cards that obviously people will think maybe agree on that are stronger, but this was my list, and I really hope you like this, because with M20 coming out, I think it's good to go over some of the old rares, and then we got to look forward to the new ones that we're seeing in M20 as well. Thanks a lot for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I do try to do videos every other day. Sorry they've not been more recent the last few days. It's just that I've been really, really ill with hay fever. I literally couldn't speak. And I'm going to go and take a big glass of water off this one, because this one's been a little bit tough. But I wanted to get a video out for you lot, because you just absolutely deserve it. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.